GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, Montreal. Heavy traffic on Route 138 keeps many of us stuck, and the city just unlocked $540,000 to renovate 45 vacant homes for vulnerable residents. Also, the Orange Line is back in service after a brief outage. Jeff, what do you make of that?
Legendary Dobie and Andy have opened their new restaurant inside Time Out Market Montreal, located in the downtown core, offering a fusion of classic and contemporary dishes.
The venue features an open kitchen, live music on weekends, and a menu highlighting seasonal Quebec ingredients, reflecting the market's commitment to local producers.
Opening hours are from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thursday through Sunday, with a special brunch menu available on Saturday and Sunday mornings.
Lots to get to, let's begin, with more stories coming up after this quick look at Dobie and Andy's new spot in downtown Montreal. Good morning, Montreal.
City officials in Mercier have launched a petition today urging the provincial government to intervene on the chronic gridlock that has plagued Route 138 for years. The petition, signed by dozens of local residents, calls for a comprehensive traffic management plan and infrastructure upgrades to restore flow on the South Shore's main artery. Municipal leaders say the bottlenecks have lengthened commute times, disrupted deliveries, and strained emergency response. Residents have long voiced frustration, noting rush hour backups that stretch for several kilometers. They argue that without provincial support, incremental measures will never resolve the underlying capacity shortfall. The Quebec government has been asked to prioritize funding, explore alternative routing, and coordinate with the SDM and REM to improve connectivity. The petition remains open for signatures as the city presses for a swift response.
Alberto Contador, the 7-time Grand Tour champion, is in town today to walk the upcoming Road World Championships route with the race organizers. The former Spanish cyclist, now a seasoned analyst, spent the morning alongside local officials on the circuit that will challenge riders later this year. He highlighted the steep climbs on the northern slope of the island and the fast finish along the waterfront, noting how the terrain could favor aggressive attackers. Contador's insights will feed the broadcaster's pre-race coverage, giving fans a clearer picture of where the decisive moves may happen. The course preview is part of a week-long series of events that aim to showcase the championship's demanding layout before the world's best cyclists arrive. His 7 Grand Tour victories, including 2 Tour de France, lend a rare perspective that organizers hope will sharpen the race strategy for competitors and spectators alike.
Quebec's provincial police have activated a silver alert for a 75-year-old man who disappeared from his home in Manville, in the Lanaudière region on June 26. Authorities say the senior left his residence that morning and has not been seen since. Police indicate he may be disoriented, prompting the rapid deployment of the province's Silver Alert system, which circulates public notifications to locate missing seniors or other vulnerable adults. The province's Silver Alert program was created to expedite the recovery of vulnerable adults, using radio, television, platforms, and highway signage to broaden the search. The alert is being broadcast across media outlets as the investigation continues. Officials are coordinating with local law enforcement agencies and community partners to locate the missing individual. The alert will remain in effect until the person is found or the situation changes. The investigation remains active, and updates will be provided as new information becomes available.
Yesterday, the coalition Avenir Quebec confirmed former St. Jérôme Municipal Councillor Carla Pierre-Paul as its candidate for the riding, stepping in for outgoing MP Yori Chassin. Her nomination comes as the party scrambles to replace a wave of legislators who have announced they will not run again, with 33 members already exiting and over 30 withdrawal notices on record. The CAQ says the move is part of a province-wide refresh of its slate ahead of the upcoming provincial election. Pierre-Paul, who served on the municipal council for several years, will now campaign to retain the seat for the governing party. Party officials emphasize the need to maintain continuity in St. Jérôme as they prepare for a contested election season. Analysts note that the unprecedented turnover could reshape the legislative landscape, and the CAQ hopes fresh faces like Pierre-Paul will bolster its standing in traditionally competitive ridings.
Montreal's only film processing laboratory is set to close, officials announced Friday afternoon. The shutdown follows a sharp decline in investment for local audiovisual projects, according to the lab's owner. The facility, located in Quebec's largest city, is one of the few remaining North American labs capable of developing motion picture film for professional productions. The decision was disclosed at 14:38 Eastern Daylight Time on June 26, and the closure process is now underway. Employees have been informed that operations will cease within weeks, and the lab will cease accepting new film stock. Industry groups have noted the loss of a unique resource for filmmakers who rely on traditional film processing. The situation remains ongoing as the owner finalizes the timeline for the lab's final operations. The lab served Canadian and foreign productions, processing roughly 1,200 reels annually. All equipment will be liquidated following the closure.
After Mercier's petition, we'll look at Montreal's fast-track plan to renovate 45 vacant homes for vulnerable residents. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're feeling refreshed. Let's dive straight into today's top stories, and now Jeff Laflamme will take us through the local news.
Yesterday, Mayor Soraya Martinez-Ferrada announced the city is unlocking $540,000 to renovate 45 vacant homes in Montreal for vulnerable residents. The funding will cover repairs, insulation and accessibility upgrades, turning empty properties into ready-to-move-in units. Officials said the fast-track program responds to the ongoing affordability crunch, giving families and individuals facing housing insecurity a quicker path to stable shelter. The renovated units will be allocated through the Municipal social housing network, prioritizing seniors, low-income households and newcomers lacking secure accommodation. City staff expect the first homes to be ready for occupancy within the next few months, easing pressure on the rental market and reducing the number of people forced to stay in temporary accommodations. The initiative follows a broader strategy to repurpose idle properties and address the city's housing shortfall.
Yesterday, a brief emergency shutdown halted the Orange Line for about 1 hour during the dinner rush. Emergency crews responded to an incident near a downtown station, prompting SDM to suspend service while they worked. By the end of the hour, trains resumed normal operation, allowing commuters to finish their evening trips without further delay. Riders reported that the quick restoration helped avoid a larger backlog on connecting lines. The SDM thanked the first responders for their swift action and reminded passengers that safety takes priority when unexpected situations arise. The outage, though short, underscored how quickly the system can return to service when authorities coordinate efficiently. Many locals depend on the Orange Line for daily commutes to work and school, making any interruption noticeable. Regular riders can expect the Orange Line to stay on schedule for the rest of the week.
Yesterday afternoon, a service interruption on the REM between Central Station and Panama Station was resolved after about an hour of disruption. The outage began at roughly 4:45 p.m., halting trains during the evening rush. Technicians restored power and signaling, allowing service to resume, though trains are operating at reduced speed while the system is checked. Riders traveling from downtown toward the western neighborhoods experienced delays, but were able to continue their trips by early evening. Many commuters adjusted by using parallel bus routes or carpooling until service stabilized. REM officials indicated that the cause was a fault in the traction power supply, and that repairs were completed without injuries. The line, which links the city core with surrounding districts, is expected to return to normal scheduling later tonight. Commuters are advised to monitor announcements for any further adjustments.
Authorities placed a severe storm watch over the south shore of Montreal on Friday, warning of intense thunderstorms that could bring heavy rain, strong winds, and frequent lightning. Meteorologists noted that summer storms are common in the area, but this watch signals conditions above the usual level, prompting residents to secure outdoor items and expect possible brief power interruptions. Schools and businesses were advised to monitor updates, while drivers were reminded that sudden downpours can reduce visibility and create slick road surfaces. Emergency services remain on standby to respond to any incidents that may arise. Residents are encouraged to stay informed through local alerts and to plan indoor activities in case outdoor plans are disrupted. The watch remains in effect through the evening, with officials tracking the system's development closely.
West Island Aid Fund announced plans to transform the vacant post office on St. Charles Street into a full-scale community hub. Construction is set to begin Friday morning, converting the historic building into a center that will host a food pantry, kitchen classes, and meeting rooms. The initiative responds to a noticeable rise in food insecurity across the West Island, where families are increasingly reporting difficulty affording basic groceries. By consolidating resources under one roof, the fund hopes to streamline assistance and provide a reliable drop-off point for donations. Local partners have pledged to staff the site with volunteers once the renovation is complete, aiming for an operational launch later this year. Residents can expect the new hub to serve as a focal point for both emergency relief and longer-term nutrition education.
Now let's get a quick look at today's forecast with our meteorologist coming up next.
A westward jet at 114 kilometers per hour squeezes a weakening ridge, keeping Montreal dry but restless. On this date, the all-time high reached 32.5 degrees Celsius back in 2021, a spike that rode the tail of a lingering heat wave across southern Quebec. The all-time low fell to 12.9 degrees Celsius in 2015, when a sudden Arctic surge slipped through the Great Lakes corridor. By contrast, the climatological normals sit near 25 for the high and 16 for the low, so today's forecast sits comfortably between those historic extremes. Scanning the live mosaic, the screen shows a clean field, no echoes across the province, no bands of rain or snow. The absence of precipitation reflects a stable air mass, with the jet stream riding high above and a near-average ridge holding pressure steady. As the upper flow brushes westward, no moisture is forced into our region, so we shift now to today's outlook. At noon, Montreal sits at 19 degrees with mainly clear skies, humidity hovering near 78%, and a light southwest breeze of 2 kilometers per hour. The dew point holds at 15 degrees, keeping the air comfortably moist, while visibility stretches 16 kilometers under a thin cloud veil of 32%. A near-average pressure pattern is easing lower, signaling a subtle shift toward unsettled weather, yet the jet stream blasting westward at 114 kilometers per hour caps the system, preventing any lift. Temperatures will climb to 22 by early afternoon, briefly turn overcast around 3, and reach 24 by evening, holding steady through sunset. UV index sits at 6, and no weather alerts are in effect. With the sky clearing later, we now turn to the 5-day outlook. Looking ahead, tomorrow brings a bright day with a high of 27 and a low of 15, clear skies dominating the afternoon. Monday repeats the sunshine, reaching 27 again while the low nudges to 18, perfect for outdoor activity. Tuesday marks the first pulse of moisture. Clouds thicken, and a 25% chance of rain arrives as temperatures climb to 31, the low holding at 20. Wednesday follows with even warmer air at 33 and a low of 24, accompanied by a 20% rain probability, signaling a lingering frontal boundary. Thursday caps the stretch with clear skies, a high of 34 and a low of 24, delivering the warmest spell of the week. The pattern reflects a strengthening ridge aloft, allowing heat to build while occasional mid-level disturbances seed light showers midweek. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Heavy congestion hits streets. A look at Dobie and Andy pop up at Time Out Market and Mistral AI's Montreal hub. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
St. Patrick and Bridge Streets are closed, forcing traffic onto St. Laurent and de la Jeunesse. Expect a backlog of 15 minutes on the arteries feeding the intersection. A water main inspection on Notre Dame Street leaves one lane open between the western and eastern sections. Highway 19's Papi and OH Leblanc Bridge carries partial lane closures, slowing the Montreal-La Vieille corridor to a crawl. Highway 20 near Harwood Boulevard and Bellemare Street in Vaudreuil-Dorion narrows to a single lane, adding moderate delays. The Cité des Jeunes roundabout blocks Route 340, another choke point in Vaudreuil-Dorion. Barrie Street is shut between St. Catherine and Ontario, diverting traffic onto St. Laurent and St. Urbain. Pi Roman 9 runs one lane each direction between Pierre de Coubertin and Notre Dame, and Cavendish Boulevard remains under construction in Mont-Royal. STM buses that normally use Barrie terminate early, so riders should transfer at nearby St. Laurent stops. Afternoon traffic should ease as the morning rush clears, but expect lingering slowdowns on the highway corridors.
Your daily guide to the 46th Annual Montreal Jazz Fest, running June 25 to July 4th, is now online, letting you map the concerts that will define the summer soundtrack. Whether you're into smooth sax or high-energy hip-hop, the festival's stages across the city promise a night out for every mood. Cirque du Soleil's Echo exhibition steps into Time Out Market Montreal, offering an exclusive behind-the-scenes photo journey that lets you feel the circus magic without leaving the market. The photos capture daring acrobatics and vibrant costumes, giving you a backstage glimpse that fuels your own creative spark. Legendary Cantonese barbecue joint Dobie and Andy opens inside Time Out Market Montreal, bringing the Chinatown institution's smoky ribs and char-grilled delights to downtown diners. Canada's largest street food festival, Les Premiers Vendredis, rolls through the city this weekend with over 40 food trucks and free admission, a perfect excuse to sample world flavors in one bite. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's draft moves and the new Russian winger. General manager Kent Hughes praised the newly drafted Russian winger Gleb Pugachev, highlighting his hockey sense and on-ice versatility. While some analysts see potential, others remain skeptical about his ability to break into a top-6 role at this stage of the rebuild. Montreal moved up 2 slots in the first round to secure Gleb Pugachev, citing a clear intent to add another Russian talent. The decision mirrors earlier selections of Ivan Demidov in 2024 and Alexander Zharovsky in 2025, reinforcing the club's growing Eastern European focus. The Canadians packaged their 28th selection and a 2027 third-rounder to climb to the 26th spot, where they chose Gleb Pugachev. The 6'3", 225-pound left-shot right winger logged most of his draft year in the MHL, with additional stints in the VHL.
Mistral AI, the French artificial intelligence leader, has just planted its Canadian hub in downtown Montreal. The new office will bring a team of researchers and engineers who will work alongside the city's world-class talent at institutions like Mila. In partnership with the government of Quebec, Mistral will help shape digital sovereignty and ensure responsible AI integration across the province. This expansion not only accelerates the company's growth, it deepens Montreal's reputation as a North American AI hotspot, creating high-tech jobs and fostering collaboration between industry and academia. For Montrealers, it means more opportunities to build the future right here at home. The hub will host meetups and hackathons that link students with mentors, sparking new Montreal AI ventures. Stick around for a smile-inducing look at the legendary Dobie and Andy opening at Time Out Market, a true Montreal celebration.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
The Montreal Jazz Festival is set to ignite the TD stage as Engen de Poitrine prepares a high-energy set that could electrify crowds in the heart of the Quartier des Spectacles. Fans are gathering for what many call the must-see performance of the season. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks, CJ Waterhouse. I'm standing on the concrete steps of the TD stage, the glow of the festival lights painting the night sky over Place des Festivals. The air hums with the low thrum of a bass amp while crews tighten cables and adjust spotlights, their reflections dancing on the riverfront glass. A crowd of 3,000-plus fans swarms the promenade, some clutching glowing wristbands, others sipping coffee from paper cups, all eyes fixed on the empty stage awaiting Engen de Poitrine. The scent of roasted chestnuts mingles with a faint perfume of summer rain that fell earlier, and the distant echo of street musicians adds a restless rhythm to the anticipation. At 9:30 p.m. on June 27, 2026, the duet will explode onto the stage, their genre-defying blend of funk, punk, and math jazz promising a kinetic surge that could redefine the festival's soundscape. This performance isn't just another set, it's a live experiment in musical boundaries, pulling the audience into a shared moment of fearless creativity. Carl Dumont virtually at TD stage.
On a crisp Saturday morning in the Plateau, the scent of fresh coffee and toasted brioche drifted from the open doors of Mon Lapin, where chef-owner Léa Boussachar was already arranging plates for the day. Across town, the bustling chatter of diners at Tiquet, the sleek modern lines of Liverpool House, and the lively patio of Damas created a chorus of anticipation. When the world's 50 best North America list was announced, the 4 names rose together, a quiet triumph for a city that lives for food. Mon Lapin's delicate rabbit pâté presented on a hand-painted porcelain plate earned the 5th spot, the highest ever for a Montreal kitchen. The moment the announcement flickered on the screen, patrons erupted in spontaneous applause, strangers hugging over shared plates, the whole neighborhood feeling the pulse of something larger than a single restaurant. It was a reminder that when local talent is celebrated, the whole community lifts. Tonight, the city's chefs will toast each other, knowing their flavors have found a place on the continent's most coveted table. Montreal's culinary spirit shines brighter than ever.
From the bustling St. Louis Square, where the market stalls overflow with fresh produce, I'm standing beside Marie Claude, a third-generation strawberry farmer who brought her family's berries to the downtown vendors this morning. The air is scented with sweet earth and the faint perfume of ripe fruit, and the red-dotted crates glisten beneath the early summer sun. This year's rainfall has been unusually generous, a steady drizzle that lingered through the spring and turned the fields into a verdant tapestry. The soil, saturated but well-drained, allowed the plants to develop deep roots, and the berries responded with a plumpness that even seasoned growers describe as almost surreal. Marie-Claude pointed to a handful of berries, each the size of a marble, their skin a flawless ruby that promised both flavor and firmness. The result is not just a bumper crop, it's a community celebration. Local chefs are already planning menus that showcase the fruit, school cafeterias will serve strawberry-topped pastries, and families strolling through the market can taste the season's generosity in a single bite. It's a vivid reminder of how a well-timed rain can turn a modest farm into a source of shared delight.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the lunch break. I'm CJ Waterhouse. It's good to see the Metro Orange line back in service after today's brief shutdown, keeping our city moving. We appreciate your trust and look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow. See you then.